To you, and thank you so much for joining us. Explain what you're doing tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. So I'm doing a 152-mile sponsored walk. It's called Walk for Ukraine, as you say. So I'm going to be walking through seven towns and cities over 6 days, which spell out Ukraine. So I'm going from Uppingham to Kettering to Rugby to Ashby-de-la-Zouch to Ilkeston to Newark and finally to Empingham. The route each day varies from 13 miles up to 36 miles. With 36 miles being the last day and the hardest day of the 6. But this is just my personal contribution towards the many aid efforts that are going on around the country for Ukraine at the moment.
I mean, it's a heck of a task, Dan. Why did you want to do this?
So I'm British-born Ukrainian. I was born here in Peterborough in Cambridgeshire. My parents are Ukrainian. I've still got family in Ukraine. I'm also heavily involved with a UK-wide appeal called Support Ukraine UK. We've been sending aid out to Ukraine since kind of the end of January. So originally we were trying to support the soldiers in the east and the families of those killed. And obviously as things escalated, we upped our game as well. So we've sent 13 full lorries so far. We've sent numerous couriers of kind of specialist goods into the country as well. We were given, for instance, a baby incubator by Peterborough Hospital last week that we managed to get into Odessa to a maternity unit there that needed it the most. So there's a big effort going on. But for me, as I say, I wanted to do something personal, and this walk is it. It's a big challenge for me. But at the same time, as you can imagine, I'm so motivated for our people. You know, we're raising money and aid for them at a time that they need it the most.
It's an absolutely incredible effort, Dan. And like you say, you've got really personal reasons for doing this. How are your family on the ground? Are they safe? And what's your sense of morale amongst Ukrainians?
Ukrainians are resilient people. You know, a lot of people have seen what's happened in the last month, and it's easy to forget that this has been going on in some parts of the country for 8 years now. We look at Donbass and Crimea. You know, for Ukrainians, this is nothing new. I think we all expected that this would happen at some point, maybe not in the fashion that it has. In terms of my friends and family, a lot of them, as most of the Ukrainians that have ended up here in the UK, are from the west of the country. My family all come from towns and villages within a few miles of Lviv, which until a few days ago has been relatively safe. But as we saw yesterday, you know, several targets were bombed in Lviv. So it's worrying times because you just don't know what's going to happen next. I think the way that it's progressed over the last month, it's very difficult to predict what Putin's goals now are. I mean, he's certainly not met the ones that, you know, I think he originally set out to achieve. So, you know, this yesterday, I can't help but think it was targeted as it was close to the border whilst the US president was in Poland. Hopefully that's the last we'll see in Lviv. But yeah, worrying times, as you can imagine.
Look, Dan, we spoke to you a couple of years ago when you first, a couple of weeks ago, I should say, when you first announced you were doing this. How's the training gone?
It's gone really well. It's probably not gone in the conventional style that I've managed to get out and walk every day. I mean, we are spending 5-6 days a week loading lorries full of aid. So I'm getting plenty of physical exercise and practice, but maybe not getting as many walks as I'd have liked. But I also managed on Friday evening, we had a charity football match down in London. It was the England fans group against the Ukraine fans. So I made about a 40-minute cameo in that as well, which I'm still feeling the after effects of, if I'm honest. But I've done plenty of physical training, but not as much walking as I've liked. But I previously did quite a bit of long distance running. So mentally, I think I'm prepared for what's to come in the next few days. But I think at the minute, pure motivation and remembering, you know, what I'm doing this for is going to help me to get through.